There is a new release from Python and it's 3.14. So in this video, I'm going to talk about powerful enhancement or feature that came along with this new release. So without any further delay, let's jump in. Feature which I'm going to talk today is called the template string literal called tstring. Now we all know about the f string, right? So what Python 3.14 introduced is basically a template string. It's called the tstring, and it's basically a new string formatting syntax that provides a safer, more explicit alternative to f string. Now the difference between f string and tstring, where f string which produces a string object, tstring resolves to a template instance. Now what are the advantages? Advantages is that it is explicit and safe. So tstring require explicit conversion and don't automatically call str or format method. That way it reduces the security risk and unexpected behavior. Second advantage is the template syntax. So it uses $ followed by the expression for interpolation, making it visually distinct from f string and aligned with the other common templating language. And deferred evolution, which is basically unlike f string which evaluate immediately, tstring can be stored and evaluate later, making this useful for templates. So these are the couple of advantages that came along with the tstring. So let's see few of the examples. So let's first start with the basic syntax. So if you see this code portion of the code, there is a variable name, age, and we are printing the name and age like this with the f string. Now with the tstring, which is a new one, we will do exactly almost the similar way, but instead of f we'll put t, and this name will always use the $sign at the beginning. Same with the age, we'll do the $sign at the beginning. So we cannot do like this, which is a syntax for the f string, but for the tstring we need to use the $sign. So let's execute that code, and as you can see here, this is the first one which basically converted to a string. But whereas tstring will never convert to a string, it will convert to a template instance. So that's why you are getting a template instance, which inside which there is a string and type is like hello, which is this $sign is basically converted to Alice, and then the name is converted to Alice and the age converted to 30. So it's basically the interpolation happens inside this tstring and it returns you a template instance. So that is the basic syntax how the tstring can be used. And as you can see here, you process the tstring by iterating over their components. Like for here, you have two components, this name and age, and using the attribute such as .string, interpolation, and .values. .string, .interpolation, and .values for safe and customized handling. So this is the basic syntax. With that, let's move to a little bit more complex examples. So here some basic variable, username equals to Bob, message is basically using a tstring, welcome, and then Bob. So if I print message, it will print Bob, welcome Bob. Similar way, x is 10, y is 20, and if I use a tstring, the sum of 10 and 20, and here it's doing the summation and printing that value. And let's execute that. Here you can see welcome, and this value will become Bob. Here the sum of, there is a first one which is basically 10, then there is a second one which is basically 20, and then this one is basically 30, because here we are doing the summation 10 plus 20 and it will become 30. And again in both the situations we got a template instance back. Okay, let's understand that we have talked about the safety and explicit, it will not explicitly convert. So let's see that example. So we have a class here, user class, and under that we have a init function and we have a str function. And here is a user of name Charlie. Here is a f string. So if you put the f string, it will automatically call the str function and you will find that user Charlie. But if we use the tstring, user and then followed by this, then you basically convert. You have to explicitly use the str function to get the Charlie. So if I comment out this section and don't use the explicit conversion, just put the tstring and execute, this line of code will give me an error. Actually, this will not give you an error, but this will give you a template instance back. Now to get the actual result back, you need to explicitly call the str function, which I am doing here. And now if I do, I am getting this result back. Here instead of this one, I am getting the user Charlie back. One of the greatest advantage is the SQL query template. Let's say this is a table and this is a column, and let's say query is select column which is email from table from users where active equals to true. So if I print the query, it will return me a template. It will not return me a query, a string, and then store that inside the query. So here you can see select, then this one is basically the email from, again, users where active equals to true. So that's how you will use the new introduction, which is basically the T string.